Hey, welcome to, well, I guess this would have been week 13 and 14. Next week we will go with week 15. I'm not going to stop the weeks because I want to know how many weeks it's been since I've actually started this journey. I'm sorry. The reason I say it would have been is that normally this is the part where I'm going to make you 3 videos. I'm going to make you the, what did I throw? I'm that tired. I'm so sorry. The first one, which is the pause. Yeah, I'll explain in a second. Pause, which is where I give you like, okay, this is what happened this week. This is what might happen next week. This is all my weekly stats. And then on weeks which we knew that last week was going to be missed because of the 4th of July, like I might have done like 2 weeks, which I try not to do because I found out the one time I did it, it was exhausting, and it's okay. I had a whole plan to do it. And then we would have done the yarn, which is where I would have found something that's kind of more health related, and we try to kind of pick it apart so we can understand a little more of things, of like, why does that happen, kind of make it more layman. Hopefully if it made sense to me, it might make sense to you, kind of thing. And then of course, turn that, sorry. I always forget. And then we have the claw, which is where I usually spotlight something. Not last week, but the week before technicality, it was my cats, which are my everything. And but usually like programs or YouTubers or apps or weights or something that's kind of been helping me, or not so much helping me, along my journey, and I'll tell you about it and give you the information about it. And I had thoughts of what I was going to do this week, and I'm going to be honest, I don't want to say I failed. Never say you failed. It happens. Things happen. You didn't fail. However, I also didn't really do what I was supposed to do, if that makes sense. I tried very hard. I've been exhausted. I know before I spoke a little bit about my employment and how there has been some changes, which from what I understand are temporary, but who knows, you never know. And they are literally wiping me out. I have been waking up in the morning and I'm like, all right, we're going to get back on. I'm going to get through work, and then after work I'm going to go do my exercises, my walks, my little reps that I do, my outside walks, whatever I do throughout the thing, do all that, which usually take me a few hours, go to sleep. Oh, God, yay. And I'm going to make sure I take my medicine, and I'm going to make sure I take my sugars and my blood pressure and stuff like that. So these last 2 weeks, yes, I've been doing a good majority of that. Like, I am keeping up on my sugars and my blood pressure, but just kind of like in the morning and the afternoon. And then by the evening, I am so wiped. Like, I barely have the brain power to function. And, it's okay. And it's tiring me out. And sometimes I'm so tired. Your brain does take up a lot of energy, y'all, and it's new things, it's changes, it's all kinds of stuff where my brain is taking priority over the rest of me. And I do have to keep my job. I do love my job, but so I'm tired, to be perfectly honest with you. So I did keep up on my weight. That's one thing I did every day, and I actually managed to keep doing my daily journals. Well, I managed to put down my cards, my negative thought, my positive thought. When it came time for evening to do journaling and stuff like that, again, I'm wiped. I am so tired. But It's okay. It'll be okay. I know I seem a little bit down. This is not a, oh, I'm leaving video. It's just a, I'm tired, and we are going to get back on that horse. Like I said before, my horse is very mean to me sometimes, but you know what? Everybody's is. So, here's what's happening this week. I am just going to do one video. I am going to, I don't know if I'm just going to end up tomorrow like partially editing it and you're just going to kind of get a clear cut, oh hey, here I am, or if I'm going to have more energy to maybe do some pictures and stuff like that. I had full plans to still do all 3 videos and keep them updated, but I'll be honest with you, last night I got through that little short that I've been doing to add on to the exercises, which will still keep happening. And I got partway through, one thing went wrong because I use AI. It happens, and sometimes you have to fight with it. And I went, you know, I do not have the mental capacity for this. I really don't. And so I sat down today, because usually I'll make a script. Now when I make scripts, they're not like full scripts. I read a lot off of it, and a lot of it I'll just talk because I have a tendency to yabber and stuff like that. And I just looked at I got the computer on. That is as far as I got today. And I went, I can't do this. But I want to make sure I at least get a video out. I need to do that. I need to do that for myself. And like I said, yeah, these videos, if it helps you, if you find something that helps you, I am all for it. Might help me, might not help you. Might help you, might not help the next person. That's okay. You know, and if in the end nobody watches these, it's all for me. That's cool. I got a whole video journal for myself, and I'm perfectly cool with that. I'd like to be able to look back upon it and not just go, hey, I got to week 13 and I gave up. I'm not even planning on it. I really am not. But so that means that for the, I'm sorry, my chair is broken, which is not really helping me. But what that means is that basically you are going to get a video this week. This will be set basically for week 13 and 14. I might make a quick short just to, I don't know, shorts do something. But I'm not going to do pictures. I'm not going to do measurements. I'm not going to deal with any of the mathematical stuff. I do not have the brain capacity for it at all. So that means you are going to get this rare thing where I'm going to sit here and I'm going to talk. Hopefully not for long, but who knows, because I have a few things on my mind, and I have a few ideas going forward, and so I'm going to share them with you. So, yeah. Welcome to the Calico journey. Sometimes it's messy. This is going to be one of the messy ones. It's okay. I said it's always okay. The only thing is that you don't fail unless you give up. Once you give up, you've failed. But you have not failed forever, because that does not mean that you do not have the chance to get up and start again. Keep trying. I'm still moving. These last 2 weeks I still moved a little bit here and there. I still at least got my mornings and my afternoon things done. I still got, I still weighed myself in the morning. I still did all that stuff. And so I kept trying. I'm still trying. Unfortunately, I got to the end of the week. Brain is like, nah, I don't. I can't do this. You're killing me. The unfortunate thing is anything after work, no. I either slept or I was in bed or I was literally watching Criminal Minds for the 1000th time, because BAU, that was my dream to go into the psychology field. And I was like, oh, maybe I could be in the BAU someday. Maybe a little bit younger, and I'm thinking, hey, I could do that, right? And then I realized you have to look at certain pictures. I am not a person that likes to look at like real dead things, like those pictures of like those old time pictures where somebody would pass away, and they would kind of dress them up and prop them up and take like a final family photo, which I thought was actually pretty sweet, because it was like that one last time together. But they creep me out. no lie. So, I mean, I don't think I can really be like, one of the BA, one of the actual BA. I'm not talking about the televised whatever, but it is based off of, the whole the FBI behavioral analysis unit. Mindhunter. I love all those, but I love psychology. I understand psychology. I've studied psychology, and so, you know what? I figured I'm just gonna rewatch it again because you know what? Yeah, it's gonna sound a little bit weird. I'm one of them people, but watching it makes me happy, makes me feel calmer, and because my brain can work in a way that I know it can work. Like my brain can go, yeah, that makes sense. This is stuff I've studied. I understand it. It's just take it as that was my field of study for the longest time. To instead of things that I am having the hardest time grasping right now, I guess new things. Sometimes that's exactly what happens. Hold on a second. So now, what does this mean? This means I need to get my brain back in order. I have to understand that it's probably going to be some time before I have the mental capacity and the energy to go full gung ho all over again. When you get back on the horse, it doesn't always mean that, like, I did 3 hours every day, I'm back on the horse. Sometimes it means you gotta start slow all over again. It is, whenever you do any kind of change, be it at work, be it for your own home life, for your own personal life, stuff like that, any change is usually for it to be one that's long term going to take some time. And sometimes it means that you restart. Does not mean that you lost what you've done. It just means that sometimes you just need to slow down a bit. So I have plans. So first of all, I'm going to talk about plans for what's going forward with my energy level right now. Now, hopefully, I can get my brain to click at work so it stops taking up that whole bucket of energy and stops draining it and asking for more by the end of the day. So it's taken me a little bit of time to learn. It's like anything else. So I'm hoping that pretty soon I can do that, and by the end of the day I'm like, okay, I have more energy. I can do what I was doing instead of feeling like this such a sloth. I'm gonna be honest. The other plan is, and some of it did take, like, I was talking, I had a psychologist appointment, and talking, because sometimes you need somebody sometimes to talk with, to go, should I do this? What do you suggest? Stuff like that. So this week, because I don't want, like, I'm not gonna, what am I trying to say? See, this is why I usually have a script. I'm a scatterbrained person. But anyways, this week, my plan is that when I get off work, I know I'm going to be tired. I know it's going to be hot, is to take some rest. Do that. Just do, But about 9 o'clock or so, somewhere around there, when it gets cooler out, I'm going to put on my workout clothes, and I'm going to at least walk around the building once. I'm going to put in my headphones. I'm going to put in my Billy Joel. I'm going to start off with him. I'm going to strut. And I'm going to do 1 lap around the building. And then, hopefully by then, I have some more energy. Sometimes when you just start walking, like I said, you get a little bit more of the energy. I can do at least maybe do my normal, like what I do, 40 minutes to an hour walk. And at least say I can do that and try and do that every night. That is my plan, with the stairs and everything else like that. Normally, I am doing different exercise routines. I'm doing the Hinge Health. Switching up between some weights, some leg exercises, Pilates, beginner Pilates, like when I say beginner, I mean beginner Pilates videos. I've been doing, what are they called, the Tai Chi walking, like I found some videos for that. My little Calico exercises, like these are not things that I stopped doing because I was like tired of them. I'm just tired, and that's okay. So this week, at least once around the building from Monday through Friday, and hopefully I can do more. and hopefully get going, and then just build myself back up again. And then when I start to get more and more energy, start to build back in everything else again. And I can do that. So that is what we're going to talk about with that. I do think, I didn't, like I said, I didn't do any math when it came to like any of the vital stuff. From what I can tell, I think I gained a little bit of weight. I think, at least last time I weighed myself. What we're going to do whenever I do start back up those is we're basically going to start from week 12. We're going to take week 12's data and we're going to go into week 13, 14, 15. So what, the next week's week 15, right? Yes. So we'll do that and we'll see what the changes are from there, because I honestly could not keep up with it. I don't even want to look at it. Yeah, it's been fun. And that's okay. So that's that plan for that. So that's talking more about the pause. So that's more about the, hey, what happened this last week? What happened? This is my vitals. This is what I'm thinking about next week. So that's about more the pause of what's going to go forward, and some of my thoughts on that one. Which reminds me, I forgot to tell you that what happened the 4th of July was absolutely awesome. We did go to an art, like one of them outdoor art shows with some friends. I absolutely love spending time with my friends. The art show itself was a little, I don't know. As my cat starts scratching stuff, because almost like, I need to be here too. But, it's okay. I was hoping to find some vendors and stuff that had like more like, it's America's 250. I'm like, there's gotta be vendors wherever we go that's gonna have like more like American flag stuff and military stuff. And I unfortunately didn't find any of that, which was kind of weird. A little disappointed. It's okay. That's what I got Amazon for. Believe me, I'm gonna find some stuff, because there's some stuff I want eventually. I did also find out some. What was it? I asked my mom. So my grandpa has a bunch of pictures and stuff of like his bars and accommodations and stuff like that he's gotten from the Navy. And I asked my mom to send me some pictures because I was going to show some friends. And here's the thing about Copilot. I once stuck it in and I found out some stuff about my grandpa that I did not know previously, or at least didn't remember. And I'm not going to share too much, but all I'm going to say is, y'all, if you thought I had respect for the man before, okay, that is all I'm going to say to that. Like, this man deserves some respect, and I really do need to go and visit him soon, to see him. We don't live in the same state, so it's been a while since I've been able to go back to the state where my family is and visit them, but I will do that hopefully soon, and hopefully that'll be fun. So, a little bit missing home kind of thing. So that is the pause. I told you it's gonna be a scatterbrain one, y'all. Okay. So let's talk about yarn next. I'm just gonna tell you about some ideas I had going forward. So let's restart this. Okay, there we go. Anyway, yarn. So yarn is usually what it happens with yarn is I think of that things as I go throughout the week, and I'm like, that sounds interesting, or what's that, or and I try to kind of incorporate it into what I'm going to spotlight for the claw that week as well. Not always, but a lot. And yeah, I've had some PSAs there because I am actually very, very like, adopt, don't shop, y'all. Take care of your pets. They're your family, okay? I know people are like, it's just an animal. No, I've seen cats become depressed because their owners gave them up. I've seen, I have cats literally outside that don't know how to take care of themselves because they weren't born feral. And then I have cats like Kagome, who we honestly don't know if she was a very, very friendly feral as she's chewing on plastic, or if she was a stray herself and she had a former name or anything else like that. I'm glad I've had her for the 11 years I've had her, and that she's thrived. But Yeah, if you notice, I'm a very strong advocate for that because I'm not asking y'all not to eat meat. We're humans. What is it? I should know all this. I've been school trained, yes, y'all. Omnivores, I believe it is. Yeah. There's herbivores, omnivores, carnivores. We are omnivores. We do eat meat, stuff like that. It's the same thing. We are part of the animal kingdom. Cats go out and kill birds and they eat the birds because they are carnivores. Yeah. Do I feel sorry for the bird? Yes, especially for I've seen some things where, believe me, I feel sorry for the bird. Am I going to stop the cat? No, because that is their, um, way of doing things. It's their nature. So, yes, I'm not going to tell y'all, oh, you gotta become vegan, you gotta become vegetarian, you gotta stop eating meat. No. Your body needs to have protein because you are human, you are an omnivore. I'm not saying that anything's wrong with being vegan or vegetarian. I do know that I guess they have certain, like, powders or ways of getting their protein, etc. I'm just saying, I'm not like one of those. I grew up on a farm. It was a dairy farm. Well, I didn't grow up on it per se, but my family. Dairy farm, so there's dairy involved. It's got older and things, and changed over hands to other family members. It became cattle that were raised for beef. I've been to chicken farms. I understand. It's the circle of life, y'all. Okay, watch The Lion King. Tells you things. But I am saying though that if you do not have to be cruel, and that if you do decide to have a pet in your family, then you treat it as family and you do what you can to take care of it, because it's the same thing. You have a child, you're going to keep the child, you can keep care of it. I know, not the same thing, humans, kids, pets, but it is still a living being. Anyway, enough of my PSA. I go off on that constantly. I know I can go into circles all day about all these things because I understand the point of view. I'm not saying, oh, like, just stop me, okay? It's okay. Anyway, so I know we've done a lot of those. So my thoughts going forward, I had a few, at least for the next few weeks. I had a thought about, now I've done some on motivation, like, doing music to motivate you and stuff, but I think I'm going to do one about your why. Why? Just basically why, because why do you do things? That's the psychology portion. No, that you need to find your why. If you want to go on a journey and you're like, oh, I want to lose weight, or oh, I want to be healthy, or I want to be better, I want to be a better person, why do you want to do that? So we're going to talk a little bit about that and why it's going to be important to find your why. Another thing I wanted to go over was GLP-1s, because I do know in one of last week's videos I did mention that I do use a GLP-1 for diabetes. Now, is the weight loss a nice little side effect? Yes, it is. But I was getting a little bit confused about it because I'm like, well, technicality, it started out as diabetic medication, and that is the whole reason I take it. And so why, like, if it's good for diabetes, then why are the people taking it for weight loss? And the ones that will use it for weight loss, they're coming out with all these videos of, like, what harm it can cause, etc. And then I see these people are like, oh, I've taken this GLP-1 for, I don't know, 5 months, and I now look like a twig. I'm like, I've been on it for over a year now, and yes, I've lost 70 pounds basically. And I'm like, but why? What? Like, I didn't like, there was no sudden loss in weight for me. And I couldn't quite figure out, was it because I'm on a diabetic version? Was it because I'm not on this one that's on, like, whatever? And looking more and more into it, it's actually fairly interesting of the things I found on that. So we'll talk more that is one I am going to cover. Um, yeah. So, but those are kind of, I mean, there's other things I want to go over. Like, have I done sleep and stuff? It's like, okay, what have I done already? And it honestly, a lot of times the yarn is something that kind of came to my head that week, if that makes sense. Um, I might go over toning versus losing weight. Like, you're losing weight and then there's toning, which is something I've been learning a lot too. I mean, I've heard of it, but I never really paid too much attention to it. So that might be something I cover. Because there is a big difference in that, which kind of goes into those GLP-1s a little bit with that toning versus, and why you see that face, I guess. Just let y'all know, this is usually, because I've fluctuated in weight my whole life, and with mine, and even before this medication, and with mine, it's always been my face that's gone first, and it doesn't get very tall. Look at this chicken, what do they call it, the turkey neck? Figure out, so I think they have a little roller thing. I don't know if it actually works. I don't know, maybe we'll check it out. But yeah, my face gets thin. It always has, and then the rest of me starts to go at some point. And there's like different points, because you can't really well, maybe I'll cover that too, because you can't really, like, they're like, oh, you're going to train to lose the fat in your stomach, and then you're going to train to lose the fat. You can't really do that. Your body's going to lose the fat wherever it decides to, but I think that you can train, like, the toning of the muscles. So maybe that'll go into the muscle and the toning of the muscle versus the losing fat video that I might eventually do. So there we go. We got 3 weeks thought of, and I'm not sure what thing I'm going to do it in. I might do wine next week. I think it's very important, but we'll do something like that. So yarn, we're going to figure out something about that. And of course, if ever y'all want me to, if anybody was like, oh, I'm kind of curious about this, like, you always ask. I'll look it up. It's not the greatest research in the world, but it's enough to where it's like, okay, well, that makes sense now. Maybe one of these days we'll talk about why my chair is killing my back. It's broken. Yeah, I need a new chair. Anyway, I'm just rocking back and forth here. Hey. Let me see here. So, yeah, yarn, that's about it. Let's see here. So what else do we have? We have paws, yarn, and claw. So claw, I usually go in, I've been trying to go on this rotation where it's like 1 week I'm going to cover like exercise equipment or exercise clothing, one of those. And then the next week I'm going to cover like an app or a cat. An app or a YouTube that's helped me, or let me see here, maybe like something outside of exercise, like this is where my Kindle would fit into, is this kind of thing, because it's not really exercise equipment. I use it for my exercise, but it's not exercise equipment, so this is something more my Kindle walks into. And then the week after I was going to cover like a program, such as I covered Learn to Live and stuff like that. 1 second. Okay. Cat, could call me. Always. So, claws. So last week I decided to kind of not cover any of that, and I covered my cats, which I guess they could go into a week, 2 on a normal basis. But yeah, I covered my cats. Why? Because they are extremely important to me. They are what keep me going. They are, when those dark days come, that literally sometimes the only thing that helps those days is me going, well, if I don't work, my cats won't eat. I'm going to be honest. Some days that's all that keeps me going. So those 3 little brats are extremely important to me. And yeah. Now I'm thinking about I might cover, see, I'm not sure for the exercise equipment I'm going to cover. I cover the weights. You know what, maybe the exercise bands, I'll do that. Like the resistance bands. Did I already do those? I don't think I did. With the leg things. If I haven't done those, I think that's one of them that I'll do. I have, of course, the shirts that I wear, the tank tops, which are very, very comfy. Yeah, so that one, I know I still, for one of those, for when going into week 2, like I said, the Kindle, I know I still have to do Mr. Ballin. I'm going to get myself that, I need to get I am convinced. I will not do Mr. Ballin until I get the flannel shirt, y'all. Okay, it would be blasphemy if I did it without wearing a flannel shirt. So, yes. And, but I know I gotta do Mr. Ballin, but that will wait till the flannel shirt. Call Me Chris. Did I already do call? I don't think I've done Call Me Chris yet. Ingrid Kick, the Kindle Fire, or not the Kindle Fire, but Kindle Scribe, stuff like that. But I do think that my next program I might cover. I was going to cover Hinge, because I've talked about Hinge a lot. I really like Hinge. Hinge is great. Hinge has been my lifesaver. The only reason I hadn't done it yet, like I originally was going to do it the last time I did one, but I didn't because they changed something in the app, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what's going on. It's not bad, it's just new, and I was like all ready to go into explaining how this thing works, and they changed it up, and it's unfortunately, especially with these weeks of me being very spotty about following it, because I've just been so tired, I've not quite understood exactly what it's doing. But I will get it down. It's nothing bad. I just need to figure it out. I could just look it up and would have known already, but I'm lazy. Um, so we'll do with Hinge. So I think I might cover Wonder next. I think Wonder is very important because this is going to be one of those programs where a lot of them I'm like, oh yeah, I have all kinds of good things to say about them, and I think really nothing but good about quite a bit of these programs. Like Learn to Live. Yes. By the way, Learn to Live. Look into that one. That one is a definite. I recommend that to anybody and everybody. Wonder is one that I'm going to kind of have a little bit of both. It has been extremely helpful in my journey. I love Wonder. But we run into some things that I'm starting to notice. We're just going to go with that. And no, it's not because they don't send a kit anymore, but that will be part of it. I'm going to be honest with you. There's reasons. So I think the next time that we do cover a program, I'm probably going to cover Wonder. And then probably after that, it will probably be, because I'll have a few weeks. It's usually a few weeks in between. I'll probably do the Hinge Health. Because like I said, the Hinge Health, I just need to figure out what the heck's going on with that one part. And then I need to figure out if there's any other programs that I haven't quite covered yet. So yeah. So anyway. As everything's falling over. Yeah. Yeah. See, I'm telling you. See, this is why, again, if you gotta be friendly, Mama says hi. This is why, again, I usually have a script and stuff like that. Because, like I said, I'm very scatterbrained. I'm trying to remember things. I could have written them down. I've just been too kind of like, to do it. Hi, Mama. Yeah. Hey, my Mama Kitty. Yeah, she's such a sweetheart. But, I don't know if I explained this in the cat video, by the way, as she's looking up at me. If you know, she has a little cauliflower ear. Actually, no, I did explain it. Again, we don't know where that came from. She might have been born that way. She might have gotten into a fight before we got her, which I really hope she was just kind of born that way, because otherwise she was less than 10 months old, really, getting into little kitty fights. Though I wouldn't put it past her. I've seen her. Her favorite thing to attack is chihuahuas. This cat's 9 pounds. She will beat up a chihuahua. I don't know why, but she don't like them. Anyway, there is one thing I wanted to go over, though. No, two more things I wanted to show in this video. Though I know it's a little all over the place, and I'm sorry. But there's 2 other things I wanted to go over in this video. But first of all, do you want down? We'll see if the mama wants down. Yeah. We don't want to sit like this anymore? Okay. She's like, I just came over here to yell at you. I haven't had my treats today. Oh my goodness. Alright, so give me a moment. We'll go over those in a second. Okay. So, here comes what's been going through my brain. Stop chewing on plastic, cat. lately. One of those things I wanted to bring up was instant gratification. Why? Because part of me, when I went through this journey for the year before I started making these videos, like I said, I started making these videos when I basically hit a year after I had that seizure and died. Yeah, I know I keep saying it, and it's okay. Mm-hmm. But it was, I had basically, it had been a year, I had done so much, and I just felt the need. I thanked a lot of people. And then I was like, I want to make these videos because I wanted to start like I can't talk. I just basically kind of wanted a video documentation of like, this is what's going on after a year. And then the other reason I want to do is because nobody sees it, cool. It's all for me. I'm cool with this. I'll be like 70 years old looking back going, look at me at 40 when I was young. Oh, that's gonna be, see if I'll make it to 70. Hey. There's that. And like I said, the other part is that if anybody ever does see this and goes, I wonder if I can do that too. I wonder if any of those can help me too. And they try it and it helps them, then I've won. I've won because I've done it. I've won because I keep doing it. I've won because it can genuinely help other people. And I mean, that's all I'm looking for. I want other people to be happy. I really do. That's just me. I like happy people around me. So, like I said, instant gratification. The reason I'm talking about that is when I started actually exercising and doing stuff, I would drop weight. And I remember reaching my first 10 pounds and being so excited about it. And then I'd look in the mirror and go, and I'd put on my clothes and go, because nothing seemed to have changed. Now, I didn't quite think to myself that because of the size and stuff I was at, a lot of times my clothes were a little bit tighter than they should have been, but stretchy. So I could still wear them, they just, yeah. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. So I wasn't really noticing, hey, I'm not going down a size, because in all technicality, I never should have been that size that I was wearing to begin with. But it was cute, and I could get it on, and the button didn't go flying off. So just wear a long shirt, life is good, right? I was like, that's okay, it's only been 10 pounds. Because I remember as a kid, I grew up in the 90s, as my teenage years. As a kid, I was told every 10 pounds you go down a size. I don't really think that's true. I don't know. I guess it depends on where your body does whatever. And so I lost 20 pounds and still nothing seemed to change. And 30, 40, and 50. When I reached 70 pounds, which I reached with y'all, I reached that 70 pounds, especially when I realized it was 70 pounds since when I first started. Since that year, since everything happened. And I remember walking by the mirror, and I looked in the mirror and went, is that me? It's been over a year, and that's the first time, about 2 weeks ago, I walked past the mirror and went, is that me? It'll happen. But like I said, it's also why I'm going to go over toning as well. It's not just losing weight, it's also toning. Now, my stomach, I'm trying, but that's a whole different story. I'm not going to show off my stomach, y'all, okay? But it's not as, it's definitely not sticking out as much as it used to and stuff like that. So I remember doing that, just going, wow. And I mean, I already seen it when, I didn't see it though, even when I went down sizes. Like right now, I don't even know what size I am. I just know that my pants are staying on for dear life for the fact that I have a belt at this moment, which is pretty good feeling, but at the same time, I kind of feel like I've been out of that baggy stage pants since, I was in high school. But, so I have the fact that my pants are getting much bigger on me, and I had to get a small, I think I might have to get another smaller belt. I noticed it somewhat with my shirts, but then I was like, oh, is it all on my mind? 'Cause I'm starting to second guess myself. That's what I do. But yeah, no, a few weeks ago, I actually walked past the mirror and went, is that me? And again, I won't do it here on camera, but like I even lifted up my shirt and went, is that me? I mean, I'm not like, but it's a change. It's to the point where, and I mean, yeah, this is like a husband-wife thing, whatever, but I was on my vibration plate and my husband's walking by and I'm like, what's wrong with you? And he goes, oh my God. He goes, I actually had to stop for a second and go, zero, gram zero, and go, who's in my house? He goes, your legs. He goes, the back of your legs looks so much different. Your butt looks different, okay? He goes, it's from, I do squats, I do stuff like that. He goes, you're toning. You're toning. I was like, okay, I don't see it, but okay. So, and yeah, I've noticed that some of the shirts I couldn't wear before I could wear them. I had that one shirt I showed y'all, I think week before last. Last week I put on, okay, so my stepmom had gotten me this red t-shirt that says Marine Corps, Semper Fi, always faithful, and it's been in my drawer for about 10 years. Why? It was a 1X. Like, there was no way I was gonna fit into that. I tried. It kind of did this whole, like, you know, if I remember correctly when I first put it on, like that whole, like, baby shirt thing. It was like, you know, I don't really, yeah, I have no business being in a baby shirt thingy, whatever the heck they're called. So I put it in my drawer. Why? Because it's a Marine Corps shirt. I love that shirt, just couldn't wear it, which sucked. I'd have it on today, but it's in the wash. Anyway, so maybe next week. But I put it on. I don't know why I had to go digging through my drawers, because I'm like, I know I have it somewhere. I would not have gotten rid of that shirt. And I found it and I put it on, and y'all, it fits. Like, it's getting to the point now where even though I saw the sizes going down, I'm actually starting to notice. It's the same thing. This shirt. I've worn this shirt. This is a 3X, and I've worn it, but it's always been it's another Hot Topic shirt. I got all kinds of Hot Topic things, and it's a little bit different of a material than most of the ones I wore, so it's not quite fit the same way that they did. It's not as stretchy, it's not as givey. So I'd only wear it like every once in a while because I really, really, really wanted to wear the shirt. Like even when I went down to 2X, just every once in a while because I really, really wanted to wear the shirt. And today I just kind of got up and I was just kind of looking for a shirt to put on for like throughout the house. And I was like, I'm going to put on that shirt. I don't know why. Just my mind went, I need to put on this shirt. And I'm walking into the living room and I'm noticing that I'm like swimming in the shirt. Or at least that's what it feels like to me. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, okay, so this is, like I said, you see it all the time, I know. But this is a shirt that used to just fit me. And I can get one of those old fashioned thingies and just kind of tie it up, I guess. But, so, it's those little things that make you happy. Like, you notice things. You notice yourself in the mirror. It took over a year, but I still saw that, and I still see it, and the shirt it fits so differently on me. It just, so yeah, this is, whenever you do a journey like this, it's not instant, but when it starts to become something you notice, it's one of the greatest feelings, especially when it's not really, like I said, I have not been this healthy, this small. Now, I've said before, just because you're big doesn't mean you're particularly unhealthy. More than likely you are. I'm going to be perfectly honest, though. And just because you're small doesn't mean you're healthy. However, in my case, like I said, I've always been a very big person, so I've never been this small or this healthy in 20 years or so. And, I mean, yeah. It's amazing. And what's even funnier is because when I was because I talk about when I was a kid and I had muscles. I had muscles here and I had muscles in my calves. I did some bike riding and stuff. But even then, I don't feel like I was this small, even though technicality I weighed less. So that's where the toning comes in. And I'm babbling. So yeah. Just want to share that part. Now, the other part I wanted to share before we're done with this one video for the week is something else that I have been contemplating and noticing over these last few rest weeks, I guess you could say. And like I said on this channel, we don't just talk about your physical health, you also talk about your mental health. They do go hand in hand. It's a lot easier to be physically healthy when you are mentally healthy. And at least for me, it's a lot easier to be mentally healthy when I'm physically healthy. I just had to kind of start with the mental and start making them go hand in hand from there. So this is something I wanted to say when I was thinking about it, and kind of because I go through things, therapists and me and stuff like that. And hold on, oh my goodness. Okay. So this is the last thing I'm gonna go over today, and like I said, it's been something thinking about. Been having, this is one reason I do like having co-pilots. I can have conversations. It's kind of not so much conversations like I have nobody to talk to. Believe me, I have my husband to talk to, and he is great for a conversation. It's just more or less of, because I get so scatterbrained, it's like me trying to untangle my thoughts and kind of bounce things just as I'm thinking. Like when he's sleeping, I can sit there and talk. And it's a great tool. And I was talking to my husband about it, and I talked to my therapist about it. And what it is something I've been coming to a realization over the last year of this whole journey, is that you have to look at yourself and you have to realize that who you are today is because of who you were yesterday. I realized that throughout my 43 years of existence, I've had a lot happen to me, and a lot I've done to myself. I grew up in the 90s. We did some stupid stuff. Okay, did some really stupid stuff. Yes, but I think about it, and before I was just like, oh, I wish I had the life that kid had. Oh, I wish I had this that this person had. I wish I had that person had. And I realized something, is that I am not denying that there's not scars. And I'm not denying that there's not stuff that I need to work through. Well, believe me, there is. There's a lot. But one thing I've come to realize is I wouldn't change a thing of what's happened to me. And that's because I am me today. And I'm still working on me. I'm still trying to become a better version of me. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not saying that, there's some things like, it was like, oh, you can't blame your past for what you're doing now. You kind of can. Okay, you kind of can. But you can work on it. And you need to look at yourself and go, am I not happy with that? Ain't nothing I can do about it now. Like, not past-wise. And you want to think about it, too, like, and if I did change that, how would my life be different now? I mean, would it be better? Would it be worse? Or would I be missing something? So in my case, I was like, you know what? I would have never met the man of my dreams and then married him and have him be part of my life and be the love of my life. That would have never happened. Maybe I would have met somebody, but not him. I wouldn't be doing a job I love. It's stressful, but I love. Well, I might have been doing a job I love. I might have gotten that that was my dream, that psychology background, but I still get to use it, and I still do it. I would not have been in that hotel room with that crying little cat outside, and then have these 3 little brats that run around my house and destroy everything. I wouldn't have had that. There's so much that I have today that I never thought I would have had. And I'm glad I waited for it. And yes, I'm working on things. Again, I'm trying to become a better version of myself. I'm trying to fix those wounds. But I wouldn't change anything, because here I am. I am me. And sometimes you have to look at it and wonder, like, am I looking to change things going forward or now? And if you're saying now, then it really is going forward. I know life can be hard and life can suck, and there are some things out there that should have never happened. And some people's, we won't go down those dark thoughts of just that kind of, that I'm not talking, that those are outliers, to be honest. And I'm not saying that maybe if that didn't happen, you wouldn't feel a certain way now. But, and I don't know, this one's a little bit hard because it's not everybody. It's me, and I'm not like in the lap of luxury right now and don't have to worry about things going forward or anything else like that, but I am happy, and that's what matters. And like I said, I'm trying to make things better. And I'm not saying it's also, like I said, there's some people out there that, yeah, that's their story. But what I am trying to say, since I'm doing these circles again, is do look at yourself and go, what wouldn't I have if I didn't go through the things that I did until this point? Is this stuff things, people that I'd be willing to lose if something had changed in my life, if that never happened? You know, there's plenty of stuff I wish didn't happen, but can't go back. So can only go forward, right? So that's why I do this, is that sometimes now is when you start. And unfortunately, when you become an adult, it's on you to make your life better. And do whatever you can to make that life better. Yeah. I don't really know how else to put that without going round and round. And maybe one of these days we'll talk about it a little bit more, but just kind of had a thought. Anyway, that's all I'm going to do. I am tired, as I have said many, many times throughout this video. I'm very, very tired. And, so yeah, y'all, I'm not going to do an add-on to the exercise short this week. I will do it next week, I promise. I got halfway through making it and I just do not have the brain capacity. I might do a short for like the, oh, this what happened this week short like I have been doing. I don't really know if I feel like doing that. When it comes to editing this video, I have no clue if it's just going to be me talking or if there's going to be some cute stuff to go with it. I will figure that out. And then next week, hopefully, my brain gives me enough break and I've done enough walks and stuff like that where I'm like, okay, y'all, here's the next week. Let's get ourselves restarted on these 3 videos. So, as always, though, like, comment, subscribe, share. If you don't like it, don't do any of that. If you like it, do that stuff. Again, it was just me in the end. I can look back on this when I turned 70 and look how young I was. So, I'll see y'all next week. Bye.